Hey friends, you are welcome back to my channel. My name is Joy and this is Joy Bliss Word. If today is your first time of seeing my face or you are just coming across this channel for the first time, please do well to hit the subscribe button and don't also forget to turn on your post notification bell so that you don't miss out on my videos. If you are a returning subscriber, you are appreciated. Let's go into today's video. Yes, a lot of applications have been stopped. Some have delayed more than normal. Well, I'm going to be sharing my personal experience with you and what we did. Many people are in this position right now, like you applied many months ago, you can't hear from Ircc, you don't know what to do next. Then this video is for you. Sharing my personal story, our own application delayed for more than 4 years, which is definitely not normal. So when your application has stayed 3 months, 6 months, it's not beyond normal yet. So don't pressurize IRCC yet. But then you can be proactive in some cases. When your application has stayed more than 1 year, maybe 1 year plus 2 years, then you have to take necessary actions. Of recent, so many people have been handling their applications by themselves. When I say by themselves, they don't really require an agent, because even this application of a thing is self-explanatory. When you go to their site, you will know how to go about applying for maybe your permanent residency, your temporary visa, and your work visa, and the rest of it. Okay, there is usually a time frame for different applications. Maybe of recent they've changed, I think the one for permanent residency, but there will always be a time frame where you should be expecting your golden mail. When I say golden mail, that is your passport request mail. For example, when you have done the needful by submitting your application, I don't want to go through all that, how to go through express entry. I already have the videos on my channel, so you can check it out. Now is after you must have applied. You are now waiting. You don't know how long you will wait. I will encourage you to join some kind of groups, okay, so that you can get information, because sometimes information is power. If you don't mingle, if you don't have some group of friends that you can discuss these applications together, you may just be lost. And that was exactly the issue we had. We didn't really know what to do initially when we applied. Part of why our application delayed, because when others were writing to IRCC, we did not have access to our application. We didn't have access to our profile. All right. So if you have submitted and you have waited for like 3, 4, 5, 6 months and you've not heard anything from IRCC, first of all, you send a mail to IRCC, because sometimes you may not really know the visa office that is processing your application. But most times when you send a general mail to IRCC, in most cases they will um, link you or tell you where your application is being processed. So that way you'll be able to send a mail to your visa officer, all right, or your visa office. Then when you've tried to do that, you are not still getting any positive response. You have to still write to your visa office, then copy all other visa offices. All right, maybe 4, 5 visa offices you copy. Probably one or two of them will respond to your query. Okay, you want to know why your application is delayed, or you want to know what is required of you. If you cannot still get a positive response, then you go order GCMS notes. I'm going to be leaving the meaning on the screen. Ordering GCMS notes can be done either in Canada or outside of Canada. When you order it outside of Canada, it's a little expensive and it will take more little time. Yeah, it will take little time. But if you order within Canada, it's not as expensive as ordering outside of Canada, and it's going to also take a shorter time. In our own case, we ordered outside of Canada. Probably if it will take you to get the notes within Canada for say maybe 1 or 2 weeks, if you order from outside of Canada, it may take 3 weeks and above. So when your GCMS note comes, it will give you the details of your application. It will even tell you where your application is being processed. It will tell you what could have been delaying your application, and it could tell you what you should do. But sometimes the issue with GCMS note is that some information are being um, blurred. They are being blurred as though the visa officer doesn't want you to know what is going on with your application. Then in that case, you hold on a little. Sometimes you ordering your GCMS note can trigger your visa officer to work on your file. So you hold on a little. But another thing is that most people don't know how to interpret GCMS notes. So this is when you have to look for good groups, Canadian groups, where you can share your information. You have to blur some vital information, okay? You let them know, I don't understand what is written here. Who will help me interpret it? Because most people can't interpret GCMS notes. So when you are trying to show anybody that would help you, you try to blur your vital information such as your name, your application number, and the rest. Then, if the person can help you to interpret, good and fine. But sometimes you may have to get maybe a lawyer to help you, but that could be very expensive. So if you have also tried your best to see to whatever was reported on the notes, or in the notes rather, and you are not still getting any good feedback, you hold on a little, maybe say 3 or 4 months, you order GCMS notes again. Like I said, if you have someone over there in Canada, it's easier and cheaper. You could just tell the person to help you out. But if you don't have, you can still order from outside of Canada. In most cases, the information that were blurred in the previous one will now be revealed. In most cases, you could see that maybe the blurred so page, maybe page 18 in your previous GCMS note, and maybe when you reordered, it's now made public, like it's now revealed. Then you can now act on whatever the visa officer was trying to cover or to blow. So you act on it, then you still wait to know how far. And in the process, you could still be sending mails. You could also check on your friends that have similar issues and what are they doing about it. In most cases, you just keep writing to them, you know, and sometimes when you overwrite to them, it can also delay your application. So you have to just be patient, okay? You have to be patient, trying to see what their response could be. If you are being responded to via email, good and fine, good and fine. So you just hold on a little. Then when you've waited and waited and waited, like you have done everything humanly possible, and yet your application is not still being approved, you can get a lawyer. You can get an immigration lawyer just to help you. But the painful thing is that most of these lawyers, some of them are not registered. So you have to look for you have to look out for a registered lawyer that is registered with Ircc, so that you don't fall into the hands of wrong lawyers or wrong agents. That could even complicate the issue, okay? So you have to look for a registered lawyer to help out, but most times it's really expensive, and we usually pray that it doesn't get to that extent. All right. Don't also forget that while doing all these things, you need to be backing your application up with prayers. You can't leave out the place of prayers. And again, before I forget, another thing that can delay your application is when you are trying to add a dependent. Maybe you've already submitted your application, maybe along the line you got another baby, you had another baby. Definitely that could also delay your application because you are trying to um, incorporate it with your previous application. So just know that adding a new dependent can um, delay your application. All right, but this video is not about what will delay your application. It's how to find solution to application that is stopped or that is being unnecessarily delayed. When you have ordered GCMS note once, twice, maybe at most 3 times, and the application is still not yet approved, then you go for CBSA, which I will also leave the meaning on the screen. CBSA is more detailed, okay? It's a detailed form of GCMS note, meaning whatever was not reviewed in the GCMS note will definitely be reviewed in CBSA note. So CBSA note can also be ordered from Canada, that's within Canada, or outside of Canada, whichever way, and it's more expensive than GCMS note. I can't really tell you the prices now because there's always there's usually updates to all these things. But I know, yes, CBSA note is more expensive than GCMS note. It is better you get somebody within Canada to help you order it. When the CBSA note is out, like I'm explaining that, it's very detailed. Even the smallest child can understand what is there. That was how our own case was. We ordered GCMS note up to 3 times, and we are not really getting what was delaying our application. But the moment we order CBSA notes, whatever the visa officer needed, we are alighted. Provide this, provide this, provide this. I was like, hey, if we had known, no, if we had known. But information is power. We didn't know. So I just had to make this video so that so many people will not make the kind of mistake we made. So it was when the CBSA note came out, we saw so many things, those many errors that happened at the beginning stage of the application. So we had to send whatever they needed, and we waited. So when you've responded like that, you still give little time. Maybe you wait for like maybe 3-4 months. That is, if they don't respond to you quickly, then just reminded that, oh, you've ordered CBSA notes and you have responded to whatever was given the visa officer concerned, that you are still waiting. Then most times, as long as you've addressed the issue, your application will probably be approved. Maybe say in 1 month, 2 months, except there's a general issue that could be made known in one way or the other. You understand? So CBSA notes will reveal what GCMS notes cannot reveal. All right. Then when you have tried CBSA notes and there's still no positive feedback, actually it is rare. It is rare for you to have gone through sending mails. Sometimes you need to even send a technical report via your profile. It's also another way you can reach out to your visa officer. You can also go through your technical report. So if you have gone through sending mails to Ircc, sending mails to visa offices, sending ordering GCMS notes and addressing the issues, or ordering CBSA notes and still addressing the issues, and yet you are not still getting your application approved, then the last resort, when I say the last resort, you must have exceeded the period of time you should have, that you ought to have gotten your application approved. You should have exceeded it. Like my own case now, my own was like 4 years. So people like me are the ones that are supposed to go for this last resort. But God came through for us that with the CBSA, we're able to address everything, every issue of concern. So the last resort, is filing for mandamus. I don't know if I got the pronunciation right. Filing for mandamus is like you are charging somebody to court. Because especially, and before you do that, make sure on your own part your application does not have any issue. You've not done something opposite. I don't know whether you're getting my point. You should make sure your own hand is clean before going for this mandamus. If you file for mandamus, or if you go for mandamus and when everything is checked, you are the one delaying your application indirectly, then it may turn against you. You can only go for this when you know you've done everything appropriately, you've done your part, you've satisfied the questionnaires, you've done everything needed to be done for the application. Then you can now go for mandamus. The truth is, it's also expensive. It is very expensive, and most people also go for it, especially when they know what they want, they go for it. So now is, what is mandamus? It's actually mandamus. Yeah, mandamus. I had to go check for the pronunciation. So it's a Latin word meaning we command. So I just checked it now. Mandamus is used by courts to meet IRCC to compel them rather to act on your application. So that's just it. When it has gone to this extent, there is no way um, nothing won't be done. And in most cases, even if your application wasn't even right, but because it had delayed more than normal, in most cases they just give you your PPR. That is actually the last resort. I don't advise anybody to go for this mandamus, but then if that is the only option you have left, then you go for it. If you know what you want, if you want to actually go to Canada, you want to really go to Canada, you go for it. And in most cases, your application will be approved. So I just said I should share these tips for those that are having delays or those that their applications are stuck in IRCC. Thanks for watching, and if you have not subscribed yet, please do. Kindly like, share, and comment on this video. See you in my next one, and bye.